Welcome to Master Mind Meld. 5 contestants will compete for the coveted bragging rights to knowing the most about Star Trek. Each will have to answer questions on general Star Trek knowledge as well as their specialist chosen subject. Only 2 will go through to the final, but who will be crowned the Master Mind Melder? Welcome back to the 3rd episode of Master Mind Meld and our 3rd contestant. Welcome to the show. Please tell everyone, I expect a lot of them will know already, who you are and where you're from.
Hello, it's me, it's Ed. I'm, well, geographically, I'm from Manchester, but I'm also play the part of Elin and Reggie and anyone else we need to on the excellent Star Trek Livingstone live stream roleplay.
Absolutely. I imagine most of our regular viewers, they know who you are.
I would hope so. I would hope so. I mean, I've led them into disaster for years now. It can only get worse.
Fantastic.
Better.
So, Ed, really great to see you again. Thank you for coming on. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what brought you into Star Trek in the first place?
Oh, I think as I'm a child of the 80s, watching things on television. So, I mean, it's Star Wars, it's Battlestar Galactica, it's Doctor Who, it's everything like that. And it was most likely probably Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan on telly round about Easter time at some point, I would imagine, probably on BBC or ITV, that really got me hooked in. Obviously, you knew the general, cultural tropes of Star Trek, but that was the one that really made me think, oh, this is good. I need to look at this more. And then obviously Next Gen when I was in teenage years and Deep Space Nine when I was at university, stuff like that. Now there's just more of it. It's everywhere. It's great. What a time to be alive.
Isn't it though? Isn't it just? I mean, that's absolutely fantastic. What would you say is your favorite series to date?
I mean, I've said before, I do quite like Prodigy only because it's so good for bringing a next generation, pun entirely intended, into Trek and sci-fi generally. And both my girls enjoy that one. Lower Decks just for such a warm, light-hearted look at Trek itself. And all Trek is good Trek. Even the bad Trek is bad Trek, especially the bad Trek.
Except for very
Doctor.
short treks, they can just go into oblivion from my perspective. Okay, Ed, Master Mind Meld, would you like to share with us what your specialist subject is?
My specialist subject is hopefully going to be Federation and Earth Starships from the 21st to the 24th century.
Fantastic. Do you consider yourself a bit of a buff when it comes to starships?
I'm a bit of a starship spotter.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
See me on the end of the space dock with binoculars, my notebook. Got that one. 1701. That was fleeted. Common.
Okay, well, just to remind everyone of the rules of the game, you'll have 2 minutes in which to answer as many questions as possible on your specialist subject, up to a maximum of 20 potential questions. If you answer correctly, we move straight to the next question. If you pass, we move straight to the next question. If you answer incorrectly, I will give the correct answer. Any passes, I'll give the correct answers after the round has finished. With all that in mind, Ed, are you ready to begin?
Engage.
Your time then starts now. What was the name of the first Earth ship capable of reaching warp 4?
Hmm. Antares? No.
Incorrect. It was the USS Franklin. When Gene Roddenberry first proposed Star Trek to NBC in 1964, what was the main ship of the series to have been originally named?
Yorktown.
Correct. Federation Starships have a number of crawlways throughout them. Which art designer were those crawlways named after?
Matt Jeffries.
Correct. Kirk's Enterprise, the USS Pegasus, and both USS Defiance under Captain Sisko have had cloaking devices fitted. What is the one other Federation ship with this technology in Alpha Cannon?
Pegasus. Uh, is it the alternative universe Enterprise from All Good Things?
Incorrect. It's the Federation holoship in Star Trek Insurrection. What class of ship was the Enterprise F?
Constitution 2 class?
Incorrect. It's Odyssey. After the destruction of the USS Defiant by the Breen in Deep Space Nine, which ship is renamed the Defiant in order to replace her?
The Sao Paulo?
Correct. In lower decks, Nick Lucano stole the USS Pesaro, which was later liberated by Beckett Mariner. What class of vessel was it?
Pass.
What is the typical naming policy for the first ship of a new class of vessel?
It's named for the class, so Sovereign class is USS Sovereign, etc.
Correct. The Enterprise C was an ambassador class vessel, and I've started, so I'll finish. Please name one other ship in this class from Alpha Cannon.
I'm going to say Surak as a guess.
Incorrect. You could have had Excalibur, Horatio,
Zukov.
Yamaguchi, or Zukov. Absolutely. So there we are with a score of 4 points and 4 incorrect answers, only 1 pass. I think you did very, very well there. So well done.
Well, there's some fiendish questions there. Excellent.
Well, it is Master Mind,
Yeah,
not
this shouldn't be
Amateur
hard.
Mind.
It shouldn't be easy.
The one you passed on, Lower Decks Nick Lucano stole the USS Pesaro, which was a Saber Runner class.
No, I might not have got that far on lower decks.
Okay, interesting. Well, there we go. We're going to give you a moment to get your breath back, to calm yourself, maybe have a cold drink before we go into our general Trek knowledge round. We're going to go to a quick advert now for our viewers, so don't go anywhere. That's an order. We'll be right back. Get ready to level up your miniature painting skills. In this new exclusive series here on Hailing Frequencies, The Geek Room, our friend Ed takes you through the entire process of painting a Warhammer 40k Space Marine from priming to the final battle-ready details. Whether you're new to mini painting or looking for pro techniques to improve your craft, this tutorial series has everything you need. He'll be covering base coating, shading, highlighting, and all the little details that bring your mini to life. Subscribe now and unleash your inner artist. And welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that advert and that you'll make good use of the services podcast, whatever the advert was about. Yeah, do give them a look. They're brilliant people, whoever they may be. Now, Ed, one quick correction I'm going to make from our from that first round. The reason why the USS Enterprise D from All Good Things was not included in the list is because once that timeline was reset, canonically it didn't exist anymore. However, I think it was shown on screen to have a a cloaking device. It decloaked in front of the Klingons before firing its big old cannon at the front. So I'm actually going to amend the score slightly to give you half a point for that one. So in the event of a tie-break situation, that might just pip it. You never know. So yeah, so people watching, you don't need to write. I mean, write in and talk to us anyway. But
Don't
you
write it.
don't
We've
need
got
to
enough paperwork.
correct to say, but it did have. Yeah, canonically it didn't exist, but I think it's fair that you get half a point for that, Ed. Right, how are we feeling now?
Well, I said warmed up now. Yes.
Warmed up.
Can only get easier, right? Right? Oh.
Are you ready to find out?
Yeah. Ready to boldly go.
Okay. So the same rules apply for the general knowledge round. It's a 2 minutes time limit with a maximum of 20 questions. Same rules with regards to correct answers, passes, and incorrect answers. So if you're ready, your time starts now. In Strange New Worlds, Spock is played by an actor with a famous grandfather. Who is his grandfather?
Pass.
In the motion picture, it is understood, though not explicitly stated, that Commander Decker is the son of Commodore Decker, who appeared in which original series episode?
The Doomsday Machine.
Correct. How is a Russian train toilet flush connected to the 2009 Star Trek reboot movie?
Pass. Dying to find out that one, though.
We see Hikaru Sulu's daughter in two of the movies. One is Star Trek Generations. Which is the other?
Star Trek 6.
Incorrect. It's Star Trek Beyond. Alexander Siddig, who portrayed Dr. Julian Bashir, has a famous uncle who also played a character on Star Trek. What was that character's name?
Pass.
Who is the American astronaut shown in the title sequence of Star Trek Enterprise?
Alan Shepard.
Correct. The 23rd century being the timeline for the original series was not established until which movie?
The motion picture?
Incorrect. It was The Wrath of Khan.
Oh.
Who was the first Star Trek actor to write a Star Trek episode?
James Doohan?
Incorrect. It was Walter Koenig with the TAS episode The Infinite Vulcan. The nuclear vessel featured in Star Trek IV The Voyage Home was the real-life USS Enterprise CVN-65. However, the Enterprise was out to sea during filming, so which vessel was used in its place?
USS Ranger?
Correct. In Star Trek Nemesis, Commander Riker comments that he first saw Data on the holodeck trying to whistle a tune, and have started, so I'll finish, but cannot remember which tune. What is that tune?
Pop Goes the Weasel.
Correct. And at the end of that round, you have 4 correct answers. You got 3 answers wrong, and you had 3 passes. Very, very well done. The answers that you passed on. In Strange New Worlds, Spock is played by an actor with a famous grandfather. That grandfather is Gregory Peck.
Oh, wow, of course, Ethan Peck.
Spock is played by Ethan Peck, indeed. The Russian train toilet flush is connected to the 2009 Star Trek reboot movie because its recorded sound was used for the automatic doors.
Oh, splendid.
And Alexander Siddig's famous uncle played Dr. Tolian Soren.
Oh, okay.
His uncle is Malcolm McDowell.
Malcolm McDowell.
There we go. So yeah, so very, very well done there. A total of 8.5 points across both rounds.
It sounds so little, but you when you're eking out each individual one,
I can tell you without fear of contradiction, you are currently our top scorer. So that puts you straight to the top of our leaderboard. So yeah, very, very well done there. So we may see you in the final yet. We do have other contestants to see yet and to enter Master Mind Meld. But until then, where can people, well, first question is, do you want people to find you on the internet?
On the interwebs, yes. If anyone's wants to see the other stuff I get up to, which is not Star Trek Online, it's Firelock22 on Instagram. That's all my painting, modeling, wargaming, and other stuff. Commissions are taken, and anything that's interesting or unusual, I put on there. So it's just entirely wargaming, miniatures painting, and other items that go with very small people playing games. Play more games. That's what everyone should do.
Very small people playing games, or people playing games with very small people?
In my household, it's both.
Fantastic. Well, we'll put all the links in below for everyone to find you. And of course, you're a regular on the channel anyway. So I think a lot of people already know who you are. I would hope. But there we go. That's it for another episode of Master Mind Meld. Will Ed retain his top seat on the leaderboard, or will he get knocked off? You'll have to tune in next time to find out. Until then, peace and long life, live long and prosper. Take care.